Let's watch TikTok's biggest pick me.
My name is Chat Chat. And I found another really cool alpha podcast. It's my alpha podcast. Every week, I'm going to blame 100% of my problems on 50% of the population, say a bunch of words that I think make me sound smarter, but in reality have as much meaning as the final paragraph in a research paper.
Basically, the more partners a woman has, the less likely she is to have a happy.
Oh, yeah. We watched this. I remember her. She's crazy. She is. When you guys said this is about a femcel, I thought like, because femcels go either way. They're like there's like the fuck and kill all men femcels, and then there's the like female misogynist femcel. You know what I mean? So I didn't know which part this was.
Marriage. And so I think that's why historically we've always protected women and like tell them to like not
fuck and then kill them. No, like the fucking swerfs and turfs, oftentimes, like, they're the femcells that just, like, go absolute bananas.
Be outside of marriage because the bond is so strong for women during because we release a hormone during that men don't.
In conclusion, do not engage in the dirty and squirty. A study found that 169% of women that did the dirty and squirty before wedlock were 420% more sad, mostly because during the act, women secrete hormones glue that bonds them to their partner. It is a huge mess, so ladies, stop being such sluts. I'm just kidding. I don't have a podcast yet, but this person does. And this time it's a little different because the alpha in question is a woman.
What are your thoughts on Andrew Tate?
I think he speaks a lot of truth, and a lot of women don't want to hear it. Oh, if you sleep around, that is not attractive to guys. They don't want you to know that like you age out of the dating marketplace.
So we have friendly fire. There's some.
Listen. We all gotta compete in the dating marketplace, okay? Like, that's all I needed to see. I see this and I recognize what's going on, okay? Listen, she just needed to find an avenue for herself, okay? She needed to find an avenue for herself, okay? That's it. Don't say it. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying she needed to find an avenue, a niche, because that way she would be more, she thought, foolishly perhaps, that she would be more appealing. Okay?
To guys. They don't want you to know that like you age out of the dating marketplace.
So we have friendly fire. There's some espionage. It's kind of a Benedict Arnold situation. Guys, is it just me or are the British kind of slaying right now? You're right, they're slaughtering us out there. No, I mean, they're killing it. Yes, we've lost half our men. I'm gonna switch teams. Wait, are you betraying us? Losing a war is so beta. I've been shot 5 times. I'm not gonna be on the same side as a bunch of soy boys. I've seen a bunch.
I love when chicks try to fuck guys by saying that girls who fuck guys are gross. What? Oh, you mean like, yeah, exactly. No, she's playing pick me because she wants to be picked. That's what it is. At first, I thought it was like a content play, and then I realized like maybe there was some like genuine reasons as to why it started off and then moved into the content play for her. That's it. Also, never send me a hockey meme ever again, even though you debated me because it's Northern Line and I love him and I think he's very funny. Never do that again. Big mistake. You know I'm anti-Canadian. Don't do that. Please explain pick me. Pick me is like here, I'll give you examples from the Muslim world, okay? Like dudes who are like, oh, I used to be a Muslim, but now I just make my entire commentary revolve around how like Muslims are barbarians, okay? The type of person that will look at a marginalized identity usually is from that same marginalized background, who will then subscribe to, all of the worst stereotypes and will routinely reinforce that. Candace Owens is a great example of this. She's, Candace Owens is pick me for white supremacy.
Bunch of stitches to her videos this past week, but had a lot of trouble finding her TikTok because apparently they keep deleting it.
They banned account number 3, but you can't get rid of me, baby. Yeah. You can't get rid of me, baby. Account number 4. Account number 4.
But her YouTube is still up and she goes by Just Pearly Things, which is kind of a weird contradiction. Imagine you're strolling on the beach with the waves crashing gently. You find a clam and you pry it open to find a beautiful, sparkling pearl. and then it starts spewing misogyny at you.
You would look so much better if you smiled more. Don't be such a beach.
The reason that I think feminism is a hate group is because oftentimes the things that they advocate for are at the cost of men.
I saw a lot of people this week labeling her as a pick-me.
And to everyone calling me a pick-me, I'd rather be a pick-me than a skip-me. So yeah, if you want to call me a pick-me, call me a pick-me. Bye.
Well, that ends the video, I think. 2 minutes in. She's already admitted it. There you go. The thing about pick-me's, the reason why it's like really fucking stupid, okay, is that you're going after a market. It's like Kanye West looking at white supremacists as like a robust marketplace, okay? No, those people don't think you're a human, okay? When you behave this way and your active audience is misogynist, they still don't think you're like a fucking person. They just care about you as far as they can objectify you. They care about you as far as they can use you as a weapon, okay? They will just point to you and go, hey, look at that. Here's a girl who's saying the same shit, you know what I mean, that I'm saying. That's it. Also, how dare you motherfuckers compare her to Cutie Cinderella? Cutie Cinderella's a wonderful, beautiful person. Fuck you, okay? This person sucks.
Which, if you don't know what that means, it's basically a woman who tries to separate herself and make it clear that she's not like other girls. Because other girls suck. They wear short skirts, I wear t-shirts. And then they say mean things to me, like you can't only wear t-shirts and your genitals are showing. Like, what? If you'll look at these titles, most of them reference modern women a lot and in a negative way. Because as we all know, modern women want rights and stuff, and that's bad. Modern women blame everyone but themselves. Modern women cannot be helped. These women put men in jeopardy. Just come with me right over here.
Where are you taking me?
In jeopardy.
What is jeopardy?
Correct. The only women we like are old-fashioned ones that don't show their ankles and churn butter. She wears long skirts. I wear long skirts because it's 1775. T-shirts haven't been invented yet, and neither has today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Raycon. Raycon offered away some if all of our other alpha podcasts, there's usually one who does all the talking, and then there's the other guy who's mostly there to just agree with everything the other one says. You know, like a true alpha. Yeah. Pearl is kind of different because she's the one who mediates this podcast, but she still manages to be a yes person somehow.
Whether a boy or girl, it's 100% your responsibility what happens in your life.
I think it's more on the girl because we have more power.
Right.
We have more power than men do in every instance. But it doesn't. Yeah. But no. Okay.
That's terrible advice.
No, sorry, you're right. Actually, you're correct.
She'll say something and then look around, waiting for everyone else to agree and encourage her to go on.
It's like a handshake. and that's what I mean.
Kind of like a child who forgot their lines at a Christmas play. And on that,
ooh, she is reading her to filth, dude. God damn, that's sad. When you get down to that level, dude, holy fuck. That is, oof, ouch. That's gotta stick. You're gonna be thinking about that. You're gonna be thinking about that a lot.
Night there were
Who's Chat? She's basic fuck. Yeah, she's dope. She's great. Even though I was fucking annoyed with our crossover fans going absolute bananas because I clicked on this video like a week ago and said, oh, I was gonna watch this, and since then, motherfuckers have been going crazy. I sprained my ankle. Don't tell Hasan Piker you're gay. Okay, this is old now. He killed the joke.
There were 3 wise men, and then Mary gave birth to baby Jesus.
Good, yes, go on.
And because Mary got pregnant out of wedlock,
You're doing great.
she has 0 societal value because men don't want females with a body count. I'm so proud of you.
We do need men, though. We do.
We don't need them.
We do. Who do you call to get your car fixed? A man or a woman?
I fix my own car.
Only men can be mechanics, everyone. Sorry, just do a woman job, like read from iPad or be named after slimy thing a mollusk makes.
I can do. I'm most mechanics.
Your power supply. Who runs it? Who runs the infrastructure of society? Men or women?
What the fuck? What the fuck kind of dumb? Bro, why do people do this? Why are they like this? Why is it like the Andrew Tatian style of commentary just like unironically revolves around just simply throwing out a statement that is incredibly easily dismissible or very quickly explainable that only hinges on the other side going, oh yeah, you're right. Like, if my personal experiences resemble a reality, okay, yours should probably too. And if it doesn't, you're fucked. It's the classic, like, Andrew Tate rhetoric where he was like, you've never seen a Chinese person work for someone who's not Chinese. And then the other guy goes, no, that's not true. And you're owned. You're owned. At that point, you're fucking owned. You know what I mean? She went, who do you go after, a woman or a man? When she's fixing your car, she goes, I fix my own car. I'm a woman. Boom, owned. So now you have to just like draw on who runs the infrastructure. Who's doing the infrastructure control? The men, right? It's like when your one anecdote doesn't work because it's so easily dismissible by someone else's anecdote, then you have to rely on fucking additional anecdotes by moving the goalposts.
So essentially what she's saying is that we need the patriarchy because the patriarchy said we need the patriarchy, guys. And I mean, look at him. He seems trustworthy.
Put the rights in the bag.
Who runs the infrastructure of
You get dumbass takes like her response when you start with dumb premises like men shouldn't exist. Okay, but like that's idiotic. And also no one, like who the fuck is like, yeah, man, that's sick. No, rad libs after like one gender studies course when they're 18 years old and in college for the first time maybe say that for like 3.5 minutes. And then they realize like, no, they want to fuck men too. Okay, so it's not a thing. That's not a realistic thing. No one has ever said that. It's not a real thing. Okay, calm down. Even if it's a trauma response, it's like it's still a silly statement that no one takes seriously, okay? Literally, if you're a woman spreading misogyny, why would I listen to you? Like, shut up and make me a sandwich, practice what you preach. I mean, I've said this before, people get on my shit for that, but it's like, if you're a woman and you believe and you subscribe in the traditional female values, okay, and you want to go back to a travcath lifestyle, then don't fucking show your shoulders on the internet frolicking about like a fucking harlot, okay? Churn some goddamn butter in the kitchen. Straight up. That like you can't advocate for this lifestyle while simultaneously being like, but I'm not doing it. The fuck? The irony there, of course, is that like men don't actually listen to these people. Like, because they don't think that she's a person. They think that she is a tool. Okay? My friend annoys me about it and keeps saying men should die. It's getting annoying. Yeah, she's going through her fucking first phase, okay? It's just so many people do that. So many people do that. So many people do the fucking men are trash, men should die shit. Why are you butthurt? You're a man. Who gives a fuck? Literally. Oh my God. Like, when the marginalized group is saying things out of frustration, that doesn't lead to systemic change. Your position is not threatened. It's like fucking weirdos being like, why no straight pride parade? You know what I mean? Like that's actually not a great example, but it just like sounds, it's because straight people are not the ones who are being oppressed. I fucked it up in my analogies. But it's like, ultimately, you're still a man at the end of the day, okay? The patriarchy is very much real, so it doesn't matter. It's just like people who are fucking crying out of a position of powerlessness. Trad wives love to make TikToks about throw pillows and hating trans people. Yeah, always.
society, men or women.
We know who's in charge of more things and who has been historically. That's kind of the problem. Just because
How do you make feminism more appealing to a broader audience without making it sound insane or like you hate the patriarchy? What do you mean? I mean, look, it is an unjustifiable hierarchy. That is the truth. It also has led to plenty of fucking negative consequences, like women being objectified, like women being hurt, and also men being hurt as a consequence of the patriarchy as well, for a multitude of different reasons, like the societal expectations placed on men and the standards placed on men that lead them to push down feelings that they may or may not have instead of examining them in a healthy way. So it's a bad it's a bad structure. But yes, the patriarchy is not good. It is bad, for sure. You can be a trad wife and a feminist. I mean, I think you can. You can be a trad wife and a feminist. There's nothing wrong with like wanting to, in your own personal life, be a mom and you know, clean the house or whatever the fuck, if that is what you choose. But feminism is about the choice. That's the problem. Most tradcaths act like that choice has been robbed from people and that like people are bullying you for wanting to stay at home. It's like, that's not true.
You're named after the byproduct of an oyster doesn't mean you have to have the same thought process as one. Pearl initially blew up because of this TikTok, which I'm going to put a big old warning and timestamp over, because if you don't want to watch this garbage, I don't blame you.
Name one girl that looks good at 300 pounds. Name
I don't
one.
know what 300 pounds is.
Do you think you want to keep them fat so you don't have to compete with them?
Ooh.
Lucky for you. Lucky for you. There's a lot of girls plumping themselves up right now. I'm motivating them to get on the treadmill. Look at it.
If you love someone, you tell them the truth.
So not only is she an adult iPad kid, she's also a fat-phobic adult iPad kid.
I'm going to be talking about Whale Attack Part 2 for talking about whales. And you're still a whale. Like, I can't.
She referred.
See, here's the thing. When you like shit on women and reinforce, okay, this is additionally hilarious coming from her, because when you fucking shit on women and reinforce the objectification of women, you open yourself up to a lot of that same exact criticism, because, you know, this is the same fucking TERF strategy. TERFs love fucking talking about like the beauty standard for women and how like trans women aren't women, but like, you know, they're fucking bricked up. What the fuck? What are you doing? You would live in a safer world if you just let go of this like weird fucking standard that you yourself do not fit in, okay? Sorry for saying that. I mean, the fact that I know the term bricked up in its original meaning should help you understand that I am not transphobic. But, you know, it's just, it's crazy. You see it. You see the fucking TERF conferences when they get together. It's the same shit. It's like Ben Shapiro being like, well, there's rigid male body standards, actually. Everyone fits by them, except for me, Ben Shapiro. Last time I tried to draw a beard on my face, it failed spectacularly. Anyway.
Refers to plus size people as whales multiple times on her account because she just cannot stop thinking about the ocean. It's ingrained in her gastropod brain. She hasn't had a Krabby Patty in years, guys. Cut her some slack. She's homesick.
I said, name one girl that looks good at 300 pounds.
She uploaded a 10-minute response to everyone being reasonably upset with her. And does anyone want to guess what her defense of this clip was? You're not going to get it. It's totally original for an alpha podcast. We've never heard anyone say this before.
On TikTok, a clip was taken of me. It was a bit out of context. You know, sometimes maybe I make fun of them a little too hard.
Oh, it's out of context. Okay, I was about to be upset and act like words have meaning or something. Hey, Alice, can I ask you something? Hey, you...
I mean, I don't know about 300-pound women looking good. There are plenty of thick mommies out there. But I don't know how much she weighs, but she still ain't looking good. You know what I mean? So clearly it's not just the weight, okay? I'm just saying, dude. Listen, don't do it. Don't do it. Whatever pound you are right now, clearly there's more to it than how much you weigh, okay? There is.
Oh, it's out of context. Okay, I was about to be upset and act like words have meaning or something. Hey, Alice, can I ask you something? Hey, you are so stupid and ugly. What the hell? That was literally out of context. Calm down. Okay, never mind. I think you're a stinky piece of garbage and I hope Josh leaves you at the altar. Is this still out of context? Or? Obviously, yes. What were you gonna ask me? Do you want to be my maid of honor? Oh my god. Yes, I would love to. This is so great. She's also drinking about 14 drinks during...
No, it is 100% her personality that makes her ugly. Absolutely.
this video and keeps pausing to take sips. I guess she's dehydrated from being so salty all the time.
I don't really mind being made fun of. I feel like it's part of the game. I feel like okay.
I don't know if they're supposed to make this seem like more of a casual little vlog, but it's not translating that way. I know you're all insulting me because I insulted you first, but I could not care less. Obviously, she has low self-esteem and internalized a lot of it. Psychologically, she is constipated, but so is everyone else, okay? We're all constipated in our hearts. Just go to therapy or go to therapy while you're taking a shit. And how does that make you feel? Shitty.
Like, I think if a woman cheats, she's trying to leave you. If a man cheats,
Yes.
he's just like, it's like a handshake.
Yeah.
Why is the exposure turned all the way up in these clips? We need to get their editor over to the House of Dragons team. We can't see. We must insist you turn the brightness up.
You can absolutely sleep with a woman who you may find very attractive and very sexy and everything else, but your heart is still completely with another woman.
I'll explain to you like this.
Hey, I wonder if this guy has ever cheated on a partner before. Do you think he's cheated on a partner before? Because I don't think he has. Your Honor, really, when you think about it, as a man, I am biologically prone to setting that building on fire. Now, if I were a woman, then this would be arson, yes. But when I do it, it's just like lighting birthday candles.
I think women are just more emotional.
Yeah.
True, yes.
Like women are more likely to wage war.
Do what?
What? Wait, what? Yo, that's pretty funny, dude. Wait, hold up. Like, the inverse of this argument is really fucking stupid when people say like, if women were leading the world, there would be no wars. Like, I love that because it's such a dumb fucking thing to say when Hillary Clinton exists, right? Or Margaret Thatcher, or, you know, the Queen of England. Just, there's always, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if you're a woman or man. But like, there's also not a lot of evidence in comparison to, because we live in a patriarchal society, in comparison to, like, you know, how many men have waged wars historically. So it's somehow even dumber than that other argument. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. They just be like, yeah, women would, if they fucking were in charge, they would do more wars. That's silly. How do I communicate to men that some women who say fuck men are saying it out of being hurt and sexually assaulted and things like that? Most guys I talk to about it get personally offended fast and miss the point. You're not going to be able to educate men on that point. They just have to be confident and recognize where that comes from. And if you're already like an insecure person as a consequence of being shit on, being owned, being bullied, if you're like nerdy, pasty, and like people are shitting on you nonstop, and then you hear like women say that to you, you're like, well, I'm not one of those guys. What the fuck? Why is this impacting me? They're not going to be able to comprehend that it's coming from a place of being hurt and harmed. It's like hurt people kind of thing. But ultimately, they're still men at the end of the day. They are not being marginalized on the basis of being men. And you can't educate people to no longer have like a perceived victimhood on that regard. You just can't. You can't do anything like that. Make a better point. How about you make a better point? Ultimately, it is meaningless. You know, they have to actively desire and make the effort to have compassion for women and learn that they ultimately still hold patriarchal power over women. Yeah. Basically, when women say that, it's not, first of all, it's not as commonplace as people make it out to be. It's basically a signal that you're entirely too online. Like, you're definitely on Twitter too much, right? If you're constantly being inundated with like, fuck all men are trash, men need to all die kind of takes, like, you're probably on Twitter too much. Okay, just log off. Secondly, it's not our job to educate men. Okay, stop. Shh. Don't do this. Don't do the fucking no emotional labor take when we're talking about 50% of the population. Okay, just hold on for a moment. Don't do that, please. That's not what I'm saying anyway, regardless. God, I got so triggered. I got so fucking triggered by that. Holy shit. I hate that. I hate that so much. It's not my job. Yeah, you're not going to do that. You know who will, though? You know who will fucking absolutely be like, oh, I'll educate you. I'll educate you, King. Please. This broad, okay? She loves to, keep reinforcing the fucking societal preconceived biases that people have been socially conditioned into believing. She loves that. She's like, oh, dude, please let me educate you all day, every day. Andrew Tate's out there like, oh man, I wish I still had a platform so I could do some, educational content in that regard. Stop. Anyway. Lol, I did try to educate you about my perspective as a woman and you told me to shut up. Yes, Justasia, you are the number one person who literally should for your own good, okay? Please. When people say Google it, like they don't have an opportunity to be nice and educate people on leftism and instead push them away. Yeah, that stuff is like personally annoying to me. And I do have a profound amount of privilege, obviously, on the intersectionality of privilege. I'm at the tippy top there, so I get it, which is why I try to use it for good. But I do get annoyed when other people from marginalized backgrounds, from one respect or not, will tell other people to be like, no, it's not our job. It's like, maybe someone wanted to. Maybe someone wanted to fucking educate someone. Why are you telling other people to like not fucking go out of their way and take on a little bit of emotional labor? Okay, calm down. Anyway, but as I was saying, and I totally forgot the point I was making because now I'm like stuck on this emotional labor point. Fuck, what was it? Oh, you were asking like, how do you tell a guy who's like, not all men, who's like upset? I don't know what the perfect answer to that is, because as someone who has also had misogynistic takes in the past, who sometimes will say shit that comes across as misogynistic, it is definitely an evolution that comes from within. You know what I mean? 1,000 Hasan is a misogynist. TikTok comments? Yeah, whatever. I don't give a shit. Yeah, TikTok is fucking mentally ill. So if you're on TikTok and you're writing in the comment section and you're not writing something funny, then you're probably deeply delusional. So I don't really give a shit. Do you feel me? Like, the only TikTok comments that are good are funny TikTok comments. The other TikTok comments are just a cesspool of like the worst takes you could fucking ever have. You're either thirsty in the TikTok comments or you're funny. Everything else other than that is just garbage. No one wants to hear that shit. Stop writing fucking articles, okay? No one cares. But yeah, like I said, it's an evolution. It is an evolution that has to come from within, of people just recognizing that it is the way things are and that they should stop looking for victimhood. And some men do that. A lot of men do that, actually. They don't recognize that the real victimhood that they're experiencing is coming from a consequence of capitalism and not because you're just salty that TikTok doesn't like your fits. No, I don't care about that. People are being victimized by oppressive structures, but oftentimes they don't recognize what that oppressive structure is. They feel the oppression. They don't know where it's coming from. So they just like go to whatever is in their immediate vicinity. And who's always in our immediate vicinity? Women, right? As men, you're growing up 50% women. You're always going to see women. You're always going to want to, interact with women, whether as a friend, if you're not interested in women sexually, or non-platonically, you're interested in women sexually. And then all of a sudden, something that you feel entitled to as a consequence of the patriarchal constructs, like every man is entitled to a wife type shit, you now feel hurt, disrespected. Sometimes women don't let you down in the best way possible. And then you develop this deep resentment, like the deep resentment at the top of the hour towards the ad break, right? Because at the top of the hour, there's a 6-second ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, right? This is not an attack, but do you have more success with stating your POV coming across stern and mildly aggressive? I asked someone who struggles to explain my POV. I don't know. You will not be able to convince people on the internet, though. I'll tell you that much for sure. What do you mean by patriarchal power? Please, I'm not baiting or attacking. Okay. Life is an endless sequence of taking L's, okay? There's always someone above you serving you a fucking L. You're always a bag holder in some regard, okay? But then there is also intersectionality that plays a role. When you're a white man who is cisgender and heterosexual, you're at the tippy top of that intersectionality. You're still taking a fucking fat L after L as a worker, as a member of the working class, right? As someone who has to deal with the worst struggles that capitalism has to offer. But ultimately, you're not taking in additional compounding L's, okay? That's it. The other components of intersectionality play a compounding role on the struggles that you face. It just makes things harder for you, okay? If you're black, you have to also go against white supremacist attitudes, which make it harder for you. That doesn't automatically mean that like every white man who's cisgender and heterosexual is going to succeed across the board. Of course not. Obviously not. Okay? But if you were to, in this weird, almost impossible way, like remove all of these other social components and simply look at a black man and a white man in identical material conditions and in identical upbringings, okay, the white person is going to have better chances of succeeding. And there is empirical evidence to show this as well. You know, black middle-class families have a harder time maintaining generational wealth than white middle-class families do. This is how it works. And the same goes for a man and a woman, right? That's how it works. So it's basically the absence of additional compounding components that make it harder for you to succeed. It doesn't mean that you automatically have a leg up, rather that you don't have other weights pulling you down in the same way that other marginalized identities do. That's why it's very hard for white dudes, specifically cishet white men, to understand slurs and the impact that slurs have, because slurs is packed with so much systemic oppression that you can easily undermine the credibility of a human being by reducing them to whatever that slur indicates they are. But there is no such thing for men in that regard. There's no such thing for white men in that regard. There is something for black men, for example, right? That's it. That's how this works. You try so hard to say that it isn't people being assholes, but it is. People are assholes. What? That's such a reductive way of looking at it. What the fuck? I also genuinely think that a lot of men deny shit like the patriarchy and misogyny. Yeah, but you probably have a blind spot too. Like, if you're able-bodied, you probably might have a blind spot towards disabled people. You know what I mean? When a disabled person says, like, you know, my disability, even if it's not visible, for example, right, has genuinely made my life harder, you might not be able to comprehend that. And that comes from having a blind spot due to your privilege. Everyone has a blind spot. Ultimately, if you're American, for example, you live in the imperial core and you probably have a blind spot to American imperialism. No matter how much you speak out against it, there's still an element of it that you probably cannot comprehend. That's all. And everyone has this. To deny this is to deny humanity. To deny this is to deny how we exist on this planet. And that's very frustrating. Both sides do that. And I'm really, really annoyed when both sides do this. For sure. When hyper woke rad lib people say, oh my God, this person did a microaggression, fucking cancel them. When that person might not have even recognized that they were doing something bad. They're behaving in a way that is inconsistent with the way human beings are. That person could have very easily not recognized the harm that they were causing. Okay? The reason why I started off with the woke side is because like most people in this community don't see that. Because we are the woke community. Anyway, let's continue.
To wage war.
How are there statistics for things that haven't happened, Pearl? You can't just be like, well, I know this technically hasn't happened, but if it did, this is definitively how it would.
Like percentage-wise. Like I know more men have because more men have been in power, but women are actually more likely to do it when they're in power.
What percentages? You can't just scientifically back a hypothetical. Let's take your theory and apply it to this diagram here. So first, identify the problem, women, obviously. Number 2, collect data. This one's a little difficult because you don't fucking have any. And 3, create a hypothesis. So do women start wars? Have women worn wars? Venville women wear wars.
Like I feel like a lot of problems would be solved if we got rid of birth control and social media.
What do you think is the biggest challenge for women when it comes to social media and what they see on a daily basis?
I think it inflates like women's ego. So like I think a lot of times we think we're hotter than we are.
I don't know if they don't have Wi-Fi in Bikini Bottom, but this is famously the opposite effect of social media. Are you saying that you scroll through Instagram just thinking to yourself, you know, I was feeling pretty self-conscious, but now that I've seen all of these unattainable beauty standards, I'm feeling a lot better.
I think it inflates like women's ego.
No matter what they're saying, they use this same sad piano track in the background of every YouTube short.
I think that modern women are impacted and influenced.
And they don't even pay for it. You can hear the watermark playing over and over and over.
It's influenced. It's influenced. It's influenced.
You guys can afford 21,000 microphones, but not a single copyright-free track. Women can camouflage their entire bodies like chameleons, and they communicate with satellite dishes that pop out of their... And if you don't believe me, I'm gonna repeat the same thing, but with Piano Sonata number 9 in F major. Women can camouflage their entire bodies.
The modern woman is a walking contradiction. Generally narcissists, and they are the first women in, I think, probably most of history that they tend to destroy what they love and chase what they hate.
Are we certain that you're describing women and not one of the villains from Scooby-Doo? And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling alphas with their sure SM7Bs. Thank you.
They have a number of things they want, but generally I think the modern woman doesn't want to love. I think the modern woman wants to feel more than anything.
She doesn't want to love, she wants to feel, because love isn't a feeling anymore, I guess. I like how they talk about women as if they're an entirely different species. Even Pearl, they act like they have women in glass cages that they've been studying. Test subject 3008 is still maintaining the sleep schedule of an anxious barn owl. Subject constantly complains about recurring sharp pain in random parts of body, but would rather tempt death than drive to a doctor's office. Subject also continues to eat a bowl of birth control and milk every morning while reciting some sort of ritualistic chant.
I mean, virtually all women in the Western world now, under a certain age, are modern women to various degrees.
Modern women are feminists. I guess he's explaining how women are feminists.
Some adopt it all wholesale, some are more resistant, but overall, it's influenced and permeated through society over the last few decades.
Did you say permeated? Are you making mead? Virtually all women in society are women in society to various degrees. And I tend to believe that women are kind of fermented in their spirits, and keeping this in mind as such.
Is this a filibuster?
Guys, no, come on, I hardly know her.
He's happier in his relationship when he's had 8 or 9.
Yeah, I attest to that. I think the more women I'm with, the more I've worked out what it is I want and what I don't want. It left me in a position where I knew exactly what I wanted, what was completely non-negotiable.
So essentially you have a love life, and it helps you understand what you like or don't like in bed, and eventually it helps you understand what you're looking for in a partner and leads to long-term happiness in a relationship. If you're a guy, sorry, did you think I was, no. If you're not a guy, you lose 25% of your value every time a dick passes you in the street.
Usually in a time of crisis, that's when our natural selves come out.
That's why when crisis hits, women start to do household chores.
The other guys, face consequences for their.
Listen, bro, if your audience has never actually fucking seen a woman and the last time they ever interacted with a woman was their mom, then they're going to believe whatever kind of fucking psychotic shit you have to say about women. That's why this grift is so fucking easy for so many people. It's literally dudes who have never gotten pussy half the time talking about how to get pussy to dudes who are never going to get pussy, okay? I'm using some spicy language here, but it's the truth. That's the reason why it's so successful.
Decisions, like that's the whole point, is like like men, when they make a bad decision, they always have a consequence. Women don't.
This is also true. My period started yesterday, so I waged war on France. I just told them that my tummy hurt and they forgave me.
And that's why women are worse, because one gender has consequences, one doesn't.
And that's why women are worse.
You're not supposed to say that part out loud, Pearl. You're supposed to at least pretend you're not a terrible person. You're not playing by the alpha rules. Well, sorry, I forgot. We have no consequences, so it doesn't, I guess the alpha rules don't apply to us.
Men, when they make a bad decision, they have the consequence immediately, where women don't.
So this has honestly been really freeing.
Famously.
Guys, all this time I've been trying to be a good person and do nice things for people when I could have been doing whatever I want, which is bad things, bad things, bad things, bad things.
Don't do it.
Call it there, guys. Thank you for subscribing, and if you are still here, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you clicking on my video out of all.
Another awesome, another fucking banger. Okay, another absolute banger from Chad. Respect. Chad has become ungovernable. I mean, she is a woman after all, so she always was. Who's your favorite woman? Your mom.